Ooh, how we doing, people? How we doing? How are we doing? I'm about to say I'm back again. I've said I'm back 9 times. I'm going to be honest with you right now, okay? The last year of my life, I got off to a rocky start, and I decided, I never took a gap year. I hear all these people, they're taking these gap years. They go to Argentina. They're seeing monkeys. They're they're riding donkeys. They're taking in the Havana culture. People out here in Spain, I've seen people, they're just going and they're partying in Spain for a whole year. And then they go to Germany, they drink German beer. They go to Belgium and do, what do they do in Belgium? We'll have to think about that and get back to you. But you get the point, right? They're going all over. I decided I need my own gap year. I need to explore who I am. And I decided the best way for me to do that is smoke weed in my apartment and do nothing else for a year. And boy, that's what I did, guys. That's what I did. And I ran the numbers here. I ran the numbers. So I was buying 1/8 a day. I would smoke a full eighth every day. That was my maximum quantity that I could handle. I think that even my lungs could handle it, because it's a lot. If you're smoking an eighth a day, like you're flipping out. I was flipping out. And so, an eighth a day, that's $25 each time. And that's, so what, is that a good price? Because it's a good price for an eighth, I'll tell you that. But the more and more you pay, the more and more you buy with anything, if you buy in bulk, you will have a better deal, correct? So, an eighth is, so it's times 8. So 25 times 8 is $200. So I would be spending $200 per ounce, which is, that's kind of like a pretty average price, I think I would say, unless you got like a buddy. I have plenty of buddies that they'd be like, maybe you could sell ounces for $125 or something. But anyways, let's get down to brass tacks here. So an eighth a day, 3.5 times 365. That added up to like 1,500 so many grams. Divide that by 28. In this little less than a year, I was able to smoke 45.6 ounces of weed, which equates to 2.85 pounds of weed, which equates to $9,125 at the rate that I was spending. And what do I have to say about it? I wish I had $9,125 right now, and that I didn't smoke it all. I also, but you live and you learn. You live and you learn, I guess. So it really seemed better than the alternative to me that a lot of other people were choosing, which was just go on Twitter and complain about how you're oppressed. I saw a hell of a lot of that, and boy, oh boy, is that shit annoying. Boy, oh boy, is that shit annoying. And, people were having a tough year. I kind of decided best thing for your boy to do Because, I mean, your boy's got anger issues. If you haven't been able to pick it up from listening to me, watching me, ever met me before, boy's got anger issues. And no one likes that. No one likes that. And it's something I got to work on, of course, and I always work on it. But, you know, you don't want to let that shit fly. You don't want to give that power. You don't want to give in to your emotions. And that's really, you know, you let your emotions take control, and especially when you're smoking weed, because it's just all you are is just a bundle of emotion. And it's like, I would like wonder during the time, like, why can't I like figure out, like, why can't I do anything I want to do? Like, why don't I do anything that I want to do? It's like, well, I don't know. Maybe because I have a ton of weed and I could just watch all the Harry Potter movies today. And that's the type of shit I was doing. What made me decide that I'm not going to keep smoking a shit ton of weed every day? I mean, boy's got to take a hiatus, I'll tell you that. I'm not going to like act like I'm like in AA and never going to do it again. I'm never going to I can't even be near that stuff, man. You know, it's fucking weed. But I ran out of stuff to watch on TV. I think I watched everything on TV that's worth watching. And then I hit the point where I end up watching 90 Day Fiancé. I always talk about this show because it's really the most mind-blowing thing I've ever seen in my entire life. The whole show, it's just pathetic guys. It's just really, really pathetic guys. And they always find a woman from Thailand, because apparently every woman in Thailand wants to get out of Thailand and come to America. And they end up getting together over the internet, of course. They get a green card marriage, and then they come, and then the guy's like confused when the Taiwanese lady comes and has an attitude and doesn't like him and doesn't ever want to like sling neck or anything. You know, it's because you're pathetic and you're really, really, really tough looking. And that's why you're on this show. So that was one of the highlights. Highlights and lowlights. I mean, the amount of time, I'm pretty disappointed with the amount of time that I spent watching that, as opposed to, you know, maybe trying to do things that I care about. But I mean, who cares about anything when they're high as absolute donkey shit every second of every day? Didn't care about anything, can't care about anything. So moved on from that. All right, I got a story here. One time, I made it back home after a long night out. Pretty drunk and pretty stoned. I decided to make myself some eggs and call it a night. I get my eggs in the pan and swear I hear something in the hall. I go to the door and step outside. The door locks. I'm locked out. Fuck. Totally forgot about the eggs. I go downstairs, get my landlord to come and unlock my place. We get back to the third floor. Smoke in the halls and it stinks like burnt food. My landlord's like, "What the hell, dude?" I scramble, and I lie, and said I got people over and pizza in the oven, and it must be done. He unlocks my door to see no one and a smoke-filled apartment. I just look at him, say, "Thanks," and I take care of the burnt eggs and call it a day. YOLO. I mean, yeah, dude, YOLO, of course. That's the motto for everything. That's the motto, as Drake said. However, here's how I feel, man. You know, you'd never have this egg debacle if before you go out, you get a nice sandwich in you. Maybe you wanted eggs. That's what you wanted that night. You got to get those eggs in you earlier. You're going to feel better when you're out, and you're going to come home, and you're going to be like, "Yep, I'm fine. I'm just going to go to bed right now." Worst case scenario, the night ends and you're thinking, man, I gotta get some food. Listen, man, you're gonna have a better shot hitting the corner store, maybe getting a couple Little Debbie's, maybe find that one pizzeria that's opened all the time. The thing is about that pizzeria that's open that's near the bars is if you're gonna go in that pizzeria, you want to be wary of getting punched in the face, because there's a lot of people that'll leave the bar and they'll be like, I'm gonna go to the pizzeria across the street and I'm just gonna try to fight somebody because I feel tough tonight. And those people are menaces, so you gotta look out for that guy. Like, that guy takes a Brazilian jiu-jitsu class because he thinks he's really into UFC, but really he's just a little gay and doesn't know it yet. And I mean, he's going to have a good time. He's going to get you on the floor and he's going to roll around with you. He's going to give you a noogie, and it's going to get sexual at points, and you want to avoid that. So get in, get your pizza, get out of there. And you don't have to deal with the burnt eggs. Now, I do sympathize with the fact maybe not everyone has the money to go get that pizza after they drink. I can understand that. You got to focus on those eggs then. The good thing about this is you can look back and you can say, I didn't burn my house down. Because you could have burnt your house down. And I'm happy that you didn't. Your landlord would have been a lot more angry at you if that happened. So all in all here, I think we just got to remember to turn those burners off. And that's that, you know. You can figure out your eggs. I'm happy you're still here. And your house is good. I mean, I don't know if you had renter's insurance. If my house burnt down, I'd be fucked. But yeah. I mean, I'm glad you enjoyed. All right, got another story from you. Thinking it's from the same guy as the last story. I was super drunk one night. I get home, and I lived on the 3rd floor. I got in the elevator, and I wait, and I wait, and I wait. I realize, oh shit. I'm trapped in an elevator. I panicked, and I used the emergency phone, freaking out for what seemed like hours until the door finally opened and I was rescued. It was my landlord. I couldn't figure out why my rescuer seemed so annoyed. Turns out I wasn't trapped. In my drunken state, I just forgot to press a button. He hit my button, sent me up. I stumbled to my place, and end scene. Okay, so this is the dude with the eggs. And so he got in an elevator and he just didn't understand that he had to press buttons because he was drunk. And you know, now we're gonna get a little personal with you here. I think your landlord probably hates you because you seem retarded. And you know, you're burning eggs. You're so drunk you don't know how to use an elevator. I don't know. I would love to know how often you're drinking. Because I'm feeling like this all happened in the same week. Like this could have been Wednesday followed by Thursday. I mean, it's sounding like maybe a couple days without the drinking could benefit you. Maybe a weekend where you make eggs sober and you know you use an elevator sober and it could help you out. But you know, I mean, here's the thing. Life is short and you gotta enjoy it, so I definitely won't knock your hustle, my friend. I mean, you just gotta be a little more aware, I guess. I definitely have had that problem a million times in my life, just being like unaware and just fucking things up. Yeah, well, we all gotta try and avoid that, my friend. We all gotta try and you know, maybe you're getting so drunk that you hit a point where you're like, duh. You know, you don't know how to use an elevator or make eggs. And it could all come down to just that final drink. You just don't order it. And then maybe you could make your eggs. Maybe you could get hammered and then still make your eggs. And you could still know how to use an elevator. But hey, I mean, that's neither here nor there. And I'm sure you'll figure it all out. And I appreciate you sending in your stories. They were funny. So, yeah, that's what I got for you, man. All right, we got another story coming in for you. Hello, Jameson. I've been an avid fan of your story series, which relates pretty well to my friends, which should give you a good idea of the type of people we are. This story starts off with a group of 4 telling our football coach that we may get arrested around 11:40 p.m. that night. My friend's parents had went out for the weekend, and we decided to throw what he would call banger of the year. We decided after the first night, which was a success, to do it again the next night. Both of these parties consisted of a dick-to-chick ratio of 2.5 to 1. With about 60 people in this house, there were about 15 drunk girls. I can't really recall a lot of the night, but as a summary, there were 3 holes in the wall, cocaine everywhere, and a possible porno shot in his gay brother's bed. I'm a junior in high school. His parents came home that Sunday, and last time I heard from him, he was hiding in his attic like Anne Frank. I haven't heard from him in 3 days. Should I be concerned? Well, first of all, you should just assume that he is grounded forever. Forever and ever and ever. I mean, junior in high school, you're doing cocaine and people are like trying to film a porno. Whatever happened to childhood, man? What's good with that? You're like 16 years old doing cocaine? What is this world we're living in? Like, I would just like drink beer back then. I don't know what's good with that. And like, people are making pornos. What's good with these young people making pornos? Like, one day you're gonna get a job. Hopefully you didn't post that on the internet. I remember I went to college and there was this girl. She was just hooked up with this guy one night and was like, fuck it, I'm just going to put this on Pornhub. And she wasn't an aspiring porn star. What are you guys doing? You're just putting your pussy on the internet? Sounds crazy to me. Sounds like a really bad decision. Doing cocaine in high school, you gotta relax. Do your physics homework. Go to class. Like, don't be doing cocaine on the weekends. Like, go to the movies stoned. Like, go see the new Star Wars high. Like, why are you buying cocaine? And there's a party with 60 people? What are you doing cocaine for anyways? It's not even that crazy of a party. I mean, high school, that's pretty crazy. 60 people. It's a big party, but why are we doing cocaine? Let's not be doing that, guys. You're very young. And even in general, it's just like not really. I mean, everything in moderation, everyone wants to have fun sometimes. Let's also talk about the fentanyl situation. Let's talk about drugs nowadays. I wouldn't be caught dead trying to buy cocaine. I mean, really ever in the first place. But right now, dude, like there's such a possibility. Like more young people died in the past couple years from fentanyl than COVID. of course, because young people aren't dying from that. But seriously, like, it's all over. I know people who have died from it. It's like it's really not, it's not as cool as you think. Like, one day, like, when you're dead, you're going to be like, man, like, I wish I didn't do that. So I would really think about that. And especially, like, where I'm living right now, there's so many people who overdose because people are lacing drugs, like, just trying to kill people pretty much. I mean, it's the reason to do it is to try and get you more addicted, which I don't necessarily understand why you need to do that with cocaine, because people already just get addicted to it because it's cocaine. However, you got to understand, like, drug dealers, they're not your friends, and they're not really cool people. I'm talking like hard drug dealers, because weed dealers, they can be your buddy. They could be your best buddy even. But when people are, I mean, I've had, like, friends that are dealing with harder things before too, but it's just, it's a risk that you don't want to take, first of all. And there's a lot of people that will be selling harder things, and they don't care about you. They don't care if you live or die. They just want to make their money. And you should be a little wary of that, especially at such a young age. Yeah, sorry to sound like your dad, but I don't know. I guess I'm getting a little older, and I'm just realizing, like, I haven't even partied, and I mean, believe me, God, I want to so bad. But once you get, you start to get into your, like, early mid-20s, you kind of think about priorities a little more, and partying's just not as important. You got to make money to be able to live, and then you have to reach a point where, okay, I can pay for my life. And then from there you decide, okay, now I'm making enough money. Now I can start having a little more fun. And I mean, that's definitely, so you should always enjoy partying in your adolescence. Like, really enjoy it, and remember it forever. Make sure it's very memorable. At the same time, be smart, though. Like, I remember when I would party in high school and stuff, and, like, every once in a while there would be one kid who would just be dead because they drank too much. And, like, even some cases you'd have to call an ambulance for them. And you never want to be that guy, because that guy looks like an idiot. And do you think he had fun? Comes back to kind of like the thing I was saying about the other guy. Like, maybe you don't want to have that last drink. It's because if you're gonna be the guy who drank the most, I'm gonna tell you that's never the guy who has the most fun. That's just the guy who's the drunkest. And usually the guy who's the drunkest is puking. Which is when you want to maybe spice in a little cocaine and wake you up. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, that's my opinion on that. Like, I would hold off a little bit. It sounds like it was a great party, but I mean, the extracurriculars, like, I think people are going a little too far nowadays at younger ages, and you got to watch that, because you don't want to ruin your life. Think about that. What happens if you ruin your life at fucking 17, 18 years old? I know people who did that. I mean, it's hilarious. Like, they're fucked. You don't want to be like that. You got to be smart. You really got to make sure you're smart about things. And yeah, I mean, that's what I got to say about that, all right? One time I was at this music festival with a small group of friends. There was about 10 of us and some others who would drop in to chill here and there. Anyways, most of us were tripping, and this one dude was super drunk and took acid. We were chilling and listening to the music from our campsite, talking, taking in everything, when suddenly he says that his dad texted him. He said that his grandma died, and he was on the way to get him to go to the hospital and say goodbye. We were all super sympathetic and everything, but freaked out because we were tripping. His dad was also super strict. We were all over 18, but this dude never did drugs in front of his parents, and they didn't know he did. So he leaves, and we feel bad, but we still carry on with our night. We didn't hear much about his grandma since then, but come to find out months later that he made up the whole story. His grandma didn't die, and he went to go have sex with a girl he met on Tinder. If only he had told us that, we would have been encouraging, like, yeah, go ahead and get your nut, man. But damn, Jameson, some people really are lying for no reason. What an absolute psychopath. First of all, you start tripping with your squad. You're not just gonna leave them for some random box. That's not what you do. You're in a social contract. You are having a fun time with your crew. It's one thing to leave. That stinks already. And you're gonna make up a story that your grandmother died and then ruin everyone else's time because they have to feel bad for your fucking grandma who didn't even die. What a chump this guy is. That's really all I gotta say. Ditching out on the fun times. That's what it's all about. Why do you do something like that? It's to have a great time with your crew. And you went for some random girl on Tinder. This is blasphemous. Really just unbelievable stuff I'm hearing right now. And then he ruins everyone else's night. It's sad. It's really sad. Get rid of this guy.